Nigerians, we are waiting for Daddy Baba Ahmed to come and tell us what to do, to come and tell us when to take back our country. It's quite unfortunate. The problem is that it's not that talking is not good, but we talk too much. We talk too much.
So guys, good evening everyone. Let's gather here. Let's gather. Are we all asleep?
Remember, all the whole commercial activities in Abuja were shut down.
Are we all sleeping?
Of what?
Already?
The fear of unknown. What
Are we already sleeping? Are we already sleeping?
Nothing. It was.
Let's see. So join me. Why is my video not? Why is my video upside down? Kilo happen. Sorry. Says orientation is locked. Hold on. I don't know what's wrong with this. Let's see if it's. Sorry guys. You know, I'm not in my studio where I have things. Okay. I was thinking I was going to do this differently, but either that is me. Let me do it this way. No, I'm not in my studio. So guys, everyone, good evening. Maz is okay here. Can we share the stream? Can we share the stream? Can we share the video? Let's share the video. Let's share the video. What's the time now? This is a couple of minutes to 11 midnight. So this is definitely a midnight stream. So join me. Join me. So can you share? So what's happening, people? Where have we been? What is going on? Many of you are aware, His Excellency Mr. Peter B. Spoke today, right? So you know. Kevin Antonio, I'm very good. I'm very well. And you? Kevin, how are you doing? I'm doing well, Kevin. I hope you have liked the stream. So like the stream. Let's get started. Dati Baba Ahmed today spoke, and His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi also spoke. So what we're going to do is to do an analysis of the content of what they pushed out to them. Today they both spoke to Nigerians. On what his Vice President, that's Dati Baba Ahmed, said. Dati Baba Ahmed didn't blink twice. He called Ala-Igbo, someone who engaged in drug. When they tried cautioning him, he asked them if they can deny that he forfeited $460,000. So if you say he's not, those monies were not proceeds of drugs, how did you forfeit $460,000? That is almost $500,000, and it cannot be from a genuine business that you forfeit $500,000. No one does it. Okay. So if you consider that, I want to, however, point out something that His Excellency Mr. Peter said. In his speech today, he made some cogent points that really the same point that many of us is anchored on foundation and underlying structure of Nigeria. I do not know what many of you think, but he mentioned and he talked about Nigeria having a structure that will allow the president or the prime minister to attend parliamentary sittings. Imagine as you have it in the United Kingdom. that the president or the prime minister, as the case in the United Kingdom is, would attend prime minister question time. This issue of yacht or no yacht, or yacht, as some people will call it, but Germans call it yacht. So yacht or no yacht, yacht or no yacht, who bought it, who paid for it? Those in the parliament would have had the opportunity to one-on-one question, why are we buying such a presidential yacht, where they now tell us that it is going to be used by the Navy. And I ask, do we say that the Navy warships that we use are called presidential Navy warships? Or the bombardiers that we have as a Nigeria, as a nation, that those bombardiers are called presidential bombardiers, presidential jet fighter. We have presidential fleet of aircraft, which is used solely by the executive. So if that be the case, how come that when it concerns the issue of yacht, then all of us are now beginning to argue back and forth? We know who bought. Definitely not a man that lives in. You see, the challenge here is that when Peter Obi said this thing today, he started ringing bell. He also made a proposition of 5 years single tenure, because if Nigeria is trying to, do something to the point of, getting its people together, that means Nigerians should be wary and should know the type of system that they, that they deal with. What it means is that Nigeria should be ready to have a system of government that would allow every single part, every single zone of this nation, when a presidency rotates. Because when he said that, it brings to mind what High Chief Emeka Anyaoku, the former Commonwealth Secretary, said. He brought to mind, to bear also what a Goodluck Ebere Jonathan also propositions that he made. He said, let's do this, and afterwards, he wasn't going to be the beneficiary of. But in all, who thwarted that idea that he didn't see the light of the day? Bola Ahmed Tinubu, with his ACN gang. At that point, there was no APC, ACN. They were the ones that fought that idea of a single tenured president. If we have a single tenured president, but which I honestly believe is going to help us, there is a lot of corruption, especially corruption when a sitting president is running for re-election. They engage in a lot of corruption. So that is going to help Nigerians to actually reduce the amount of corruption that goes into re-election, and people would work better. Now, what we have today is, in the first, you have somebody wins an election, gets in the first 6 months, that individual deals with, electoral tribunal distractions and getting to learn the rope. In the next, after that, governance only takes about 2 years, because you have about 6 months for distractions, 2 years for proper governance, then the rest is electioneering, especially when you have an incumbent who wants to go for a re-election. How do we solve that? If we really want to make progress, we should begin to give it a second thought, right? So that if we now anchor it based on the political regions, you can begin to rotate between the south and the north, as the way the PDP had it in their constitution, where it could be northeast, southwest, northwest, south-south, north central, southeast. It goes round. Then we know whenever we have an election, We know that the next election is going to be for the Northwest. Everybody stays away. Nigerians will begin to go home and say, okay, who is going to be the best person to come out for Northwest? So if you look at the things that he spoke about, and let me just play this clip for us. So it would make sense to, but let me just play this clip for us. Now, for if you're joining us, I am still Mazes. Okay, please, do me a favor and like this stream and share with us. I know it's late, but I was waiting for NEPA to bring light because I'm not in my usual place. I'm in Zaza place.
Substantive justice, a judgment.
Now, and one thing that also, or the key point of his press statement today, was he has come out to accept the pronouncement of the judiciary. However, he made it very, very clear that the judiciary and the INEC failed Nigerians. He said something very instructive, that the revolution that we saw in 2022-2023 has just been officially postponed. Will it happen? Yes, it will happen. But it is a case of postponement. Now listen to this.
We were taught value and admonished to always choose other rights instead of easier wrong. Setting legal issues aside, the Supreme Court exhibited a disturbing affront to public opinion, just as they abandoned its responsibility as court of law and policy. It is therefore with great dismay that I observe that the court's decision contradicts the overwhelming evidence of election rigging, false claim of technical glitch, substantial non-compliance to the rules set by INEC.
Now, INEC had rules set out by the commission. No one forced them. There were some legal amendments that obviously we all know the electoral amendments, what happened, and they came up with their own guidelines, the rules governing the election. At the night of the election, they threw away these rules. States had elections without the use of beavers. Tell me, there is a pattern, there is something, some of us in think tank are analyzing a pattern in data. How come when you bring the data of the election, you will see where you have high number of accredited voters, especially within the Southeast, with also a very high number of people who did not vote after accreditation? We have been unable to put our hands. Why would some people come to the polling unit and they will go out without voting? Could it be that there is a systematic exclusion or a pattern that becomes the case? Could you link it back to the assertions made by the small stout in Kaduna that a local government or a state in the north counters the whole of south? Is there a pattern? I am not accusing anyone, but we have seen something that we are looking, how is this pattern playing out? If there is a pattern to reduce vote in this region, who are the accomplices? Because there are locals. Did these locals play part in these observations that we have made? No answer yet. We are still digging. So if we understand all this that Peter Obi was saying, that it was a travesty of, to the Nigerian people, that these issues of election rigging, non-compliance were all thrown out of the window, and the consequences for the Nigerian state will be dire.
Itself, as well as matters of perjury,
are the matters of perjury in the case of somebody lying under oath, and we know who lied under oath, rather than the Supreme Court to address the issue of somebody lying under oath, where I go and I say, I, so person, do solemnly swear, I swear an affidavit, and I lied because what I have said is not representing the facts.
Petty theft and forgery has been brought to light in course of this election matter. These are hefty allegations that should not have been treated with levity. More apparent, the Supreme Court's judgment willfully condoned breaches of the Constitution relative to established qualifications and parameters for candidates in presidential elections. With this counter...
Now, in the next couple of days, in the next 4 days to be precise, actually, what the Supreme Court did, knowingly or unknowingly, is that we have gone back to the days of real thuggery and ballot box snatching. We have gone back to 2003. I hope you are witnessing what is happening in Imo State. Senator Atan Achono, the Labour Party candidate, was attacked on Sunday, yesterday. His bulletproof car was shot at. Imagine if he wasn't in the bulletproof car. The NLC president, Ajero, who was in Imo State to lead protest against the non-payment of workers' salary in Imo State, he was beaten blue, black, purple, and yellow. This is running up to the election. I do not want to be seen around Imo State on Saturday. Why? Because INEC and the Supreme Court has legitimized violence. Am I expecting to see a wide array of violence on Saturday? Yes, of course I am, and I make no mistakes, and I'm going to see a very heavy violence. Why do I say so? Because INEC and the Supreme Court have given impetus to that to happen. INEC and the Supreme Court has given impetus for that to happen. When people no longer believe that things ought to be done gently and done orderly, that go into the field, do it however you get it, come to the court, we will affirm it, we will reaffirm it. In the words of the former president, he will tell you, I assure you, and I assure you. So in this case, INEC is going to assure you, and Supreme Court will reassure you. That means the one with the most crooked way would emerge. The one who is able to kill so many. Because no one, not the INEC, not the Supreme Court, addressed the issue that it is on record. People serving the APC president, people serving him were seen on record using ethnic law, calling some people names and saying they should not come out. And not only that, those statements were made, they were carried out. And here we are, nothing, and absolutely nothing did happen. Let's continue.
Judgment, the Supreme Court has transferred a heavy moral burden from the courtroom to our national conscience. Our young democracy is ultimately the main victim and casualty of the courtroom drama. Without a provocation, this judgment amounts to a breach of confidence of Nigerians have in our judiciary. To that extent, it is a show of unreasonable force against the very Nigerian people from whom the power of the Constitution derives.
Who gives power? Every single elected officer derives its power from the people of Nigeria. They yield so that those who they have given their mandate will go and represent them. But by that decision, the Supreme Court has yanked everything off. Right? People, it is so. And it is indeed sad, I must note. It is indeed very, very sad to note that these things did happen today. Now, if we take that away, after the press conference was around 2:30 today, then afterwards, Dati Baba Ahmed was on Arise TV. As usual, very joyous to listen to. Dati Baba Ahmed looked at my good friend Charles Anagolo in the face and said to him that the things they see in this election are like day and night. And it said something very instructive. Let's listen to this.
Democracy is government of the people who have earned their rights, for the people who can protect their constitution, by the people who can exercise civil liberties.
So, given what
when they say people, what kind of people? The people who fold their arms while their constitution is violated, then democracy is not for you. I have said it.
I hope you understand this. There is a masquerade within the Oda Aguata region called Obambada. They say whenever the Obambada masquerade finishes dancing and turns the backside and shows this to the public, that means whatever he has learned. Dati is saying to Nigerians, if the judiciary has failed you, if INEC has failed you, and if you let the madness also slide, you have yourself to blame. That is the summary of what he has said. And the vuvuzulas within the Agbado gang have gone because, I think one person they fear so much is that because of the way he gives them back to back. They've gone on Twitter, they've gone online to begin to do their usual, to attack. There is nothing better than they do.
It belongs to only those who can practice it with due respect.
So
just hold on.
Right. I was going to ask you what your assessment of the state of democracy is in Nigeria, given what you just said.
It is poor. The people have to wake up to the challenges. For a people that are ready to accept anything, then anything will happen to them.
And Nigerians are ready to accept
quotes.
anything.
Last year you saw it. Indian farmers sat in a location for 1 year because of one obnoxious government policy until Indian government reversed it. I am educating Nigerians. Rise up for your rights.
I do not know what Nigerians need again. Shall that be drawn for us? Somebody is telling you, rise up for your right. Whether they will come and buy petrol for you in your bedrooms. Rise up. When you say this madness shall not stand and enough is enough, enough will be enough. How else do you want him to say it? Right? I understand that this stream also is very late. We may not have so many people, but please, those of you watching me, kindly click the like button and share. Share in some of your groups. Please join me. Right? So, how else can he want him to say in black and white? How else? He just said it. Wake up and smell the coffee.
No justice of Supreme Court will give you democracy.
Exactly.
Power and sovereignty belongs
to the
the
people.
Nigerian people. We, the people, on whose behalf an elected government is exercising that authority. Now, where the people are dissatisfied with the rulings of their courts. They own Nigeria. Alhaji Tinubu does not own Nigeria. Peter Obi does not own Nigeria.
Did you hear that? Alhaji Tinubu. So for some of you who Chief Tinubu, maybe from today I'll start saying Alhaji Tinubu. That will make you happy. Okay? Because he remains an Alhaji. Because he goes to Mecca.
Yeah, but the
Nigerians on the streets
right.
own Nigeria. But I'm telling you, it is not over. For Peter Obi and me, it is over. For we, the people, the Nigerian people,
Right.
at any point in time, they can take back Nigeria.
Right.
Especially where their constitution has been violated. Especially where all that the Supreme Court ended up doing was to sustain the unconstitutionality
Right. Well,
of a certain election.
Let me.
So now he affirmed it that, what the Supreme Court did was basically reaffirming, just like I said at the beginning, an illegality, certify it, affirm it, and that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. The Supreme Court did not affirm the success of Tinubu. They upheld the unconstitutionality of the election. Tati Baba Ahmed. That is it. Some of you say he's pressing neck, whether not leg, I've been a neck. He's the press. What we know is he was pressing something. If not, how do you explain? Even when Peter during the when Peter Obi during the press conference was saying that how can you be talking about buying yacht at the moment? How can you be talking about buying presidential yacht or presidential yacht, whatever you want to nomenclature you want to call it? How can you be talking buying fleets office of the presidency? Who elected her? Even in Buhari's mumuness, Buhari never reached like this. They are now mapping out billions of naira to go and repent and rehabilitate an office that Buhari rehabilitated before leaving office. What manner of set of misgovernance do we have here within this gang of the Agbados? I call them the Agbado gangs. What manner of misgovernance do we have? It is terrible. When I say terrible, now after the interview, Bayo Ononuga started saying, support Tinubu if you love Nigeria. So support Tinubu if you love Nigeria. Yeah, people will say support drug dealers if you love whatever. Or have they stopped dealing on drugs? Right? Yesterday, I saw something that really see mosquito. Yesterday, why mosquito did? Shit. See, I kill him. Oh, this one does suck blood. Yeah, see another one. Yesterday, I went through Aba to Port Harcourt. A journey that should not take you 40 minutes. It took over 2 hours. 2 grilling hours. You will pity for Nigerians that Nigerians are suffering. And you ask yourself, Aba and Port Harcourt are part of the places that lay the golden egg, the oil that Nigerians go to Abuja and share every month. It's been extracted from this region. Yet, the only federal highway that you have from Enugu, well, again, thanks to Buhari because he fixed from Enugu to Maya. But when you get to Aba, after the Osisioma flyover, the road becomes a death trap. I counted 18 military and police checkpoints before we got to Eleme Junction. Even in that messy road. Don't worry, tomorrow we are publishing a mini documentary recorded on that journey, because that's the reason why I embarked on that journey. I've had stories about that, but I wanted to, undergo that journey myself to understand in greater details if these things and if these pictures that the people were getting out is actually true. And I can tell you that the pictures people were getting out is not as deadly as what I saw yesterday. It was unbelievable what the Nigerian people go through. Government of APC. Yet, rather than put that money into education, into health, people will still come together to talk of money to buy a presidential yacht. Who does it? But hey, that can only happen, right? That can only happen in this part of the world. And I like some of the things actually, that he has a way with words. Some of the things he said and the way and manner he put them. He even attacked Shetima in the way and manner he also probably spoke to Atiku Abubakar and a hell lot of other things. But let me quickly see if I can grab this part of the clip. Okay.
The answers were not good. The whole country will be put to shame. The last time I spoke, I nearly brought Tinubu's ambition to a screeching halt. This is evident by the events that followed immediately afterwards. One minister wrote the DSS on his company stationery. I don't know how that is possible. And another minister, skipped ECOWAS, skipped AU, and went all the way to Washington to report me. And Nobel laureate, a very, very senior citizen, inviting me to a national debate. And I'm not that smart enough, even though my dear good friend Chimamanda acted on my behalf. And then DSS coming out a week later, under duress, of course, you could see, to do the bidding of that minister. This shows they were scared. My simple point was that no constitution or any part thereof shall be breached in order to install a president. And if that is done, that presidency will remain unconstitutional. And I remain on this point.
How else do you want him to say that? Dati is telling you again today on a national TV that Tinubu, in his view, remains unconstitutional president. Punct. No but, no if. He remains an unconstitutional president, and you're still in your house waiting until when he will come and pay your bicycle money to come and fight for your right. Okay, they wait for him.
I pointedly say he must not be sworn in. They have gone ahead to do it. It is not the first time. Out of 16 heads of state stroke presidents of Nigeria, 9 were not elected. 7 were, out of that 7, 1 still remains challenged, Alhaji Tinubu. Challenged. And that is because of the constitutional breach. Now, my attitude from day one was that, based on experiences, let's forget anything electoral. I know the system deeply. My boss, Obi, knows the system deeply. Let's go for the constitutional point. Yes, of course, there is that issue of the forfeiture. There is the forgery, but the clearest one we could get was on the FCT point. Now, get that FCT point, get him not sworn in. There are at least 2 other constitutional channels while sustaining democracy that we could have followed, but they wouldn't.
They wouldn't do what? They would not allow it.
2023 presidential elections.
Listen to that
Labour
again.
Party won 2023 presidential elections. No doubt about it. The fact that I respect his age doesn't mean that I will not call him a drug dealer.
Yeah, well,
or a certificate forger.
Did you hear that? In as much as he respects Ala-Igbo, he said he will still call him a drug dealer and a certificate forger. Even when the Supreme Court, you see, when you put a CCTV when you are in your house and somebody comes to your house to steal your property, that you did not have a CCTV or a photo camera to capture, but you saw it with your eyes, that you didn't have a photo camera to capture does not mean, even when court rules that there is no evidence to say that this person broke into your house to steal your property, that you that knew that he came into your house and stole your property cannot keep saying this person ain't steal my property.
Labour Party won 2023 presidential elections. No doubt about it. The fact that I respect his age doesn't mean that I will not call him a drug dealer.
Yeah, well,
or a certificate forger. I will never be shaken by certificate forgery, by forfeited money over narcotics. I will never be shaken by IREF switched off in the middle of the game when they saw us win. Labour Party.
So, again, these are things we already know in the last couple of months. We have acted, and I'm asking it for the umpteenth time. In the middle of the game, you switched off the IREF. How? National Assembly and the Senate, Federal House of Rep and Senate, we are all going on concurrently. You went to the middle, you switched one off. You went to the middle, you switched one off while you allowed others to go. So what happened? So people, these are the highlight of these press conference today. Like I keep saying, no matter how you want to cut it, no matter how you want to dice it, the fact remains that the ball is on the court of Nigerians, to sustain or to say that this revolution is hereby postponed to when? Only God knows when. If you have any question, just type it in the comment section. I do not want to spend too much time this evening, right? So we can all go to Zaza room and sleep. I am still Mazi. It's okay. Okay. So let me know some of you who are watching. Can you tell me where you're watching from? I know it's very late. Where are you watching me from? Like, how many people are we? Less than 50, but only 7 people liked it. I know. I see you now. You. Stop touching what you're touching. You haven't liked this video. That's why you're touching something. I know what you're touching. Okay. I'm in the spirit, Yeah? So where are you watching us from, guys? Many of you will be watching from America. Many of you will be watching from the United Kingdom. And some parts of Europe. The video that I said will be published tomorrow. I went to Aba actually. No, I went to Umahia. And I also saw what Alex Oti is doing in Umahia. So I will be publishing the video of Umahia. And there is, the entrance to Umahia, the Osa Road, is being expanded and double lane, just like Soludo did in Oka and the Kulobia, by knocking down some houses. Is also doing the same thing, knocking down some houses, expanding the road. The road is going to be double lane now, and it's things are happening even when they are slow. But I believe that slow and steady will get there. But again, every person of conscience must stand to condemn the treatment given to the Labour Party, Labour Congress Chairman Ajero, and the treatment given to Eta John yesterday, while thugs attacked his convoy, and based on in his own words that those are state sponsored, and the individuals involved, many of them are known. So if those individuals involved are known, then it behoves on us to now say, people, what is happening? Okay? So guys, let's not belabor this issue. And I say thank you very much for joining me. I am Mazes, okay? Join me hopefully tomorrow evening as well, as I come back online to do justice to the burning issues. I'll try as much as possible. The greatest challenge that I do have is that my internet, most times, constantly being on the move, does not permit me, and most times, locations that I find myself does also not permit me to go live. But I'm going to be trying to now use the mobile devices as opposed to using, a very, kind of studio computer-like to do that. But let's see. The thing that is there is the consistency of having these regular conversations with us. As it is, we have a lot of programs coming our ways where we will be, reaching out to those that matter within the society. And those questions that you are thinking, you push it to us. Our job is to ask them these questions. And also, within the week, I will publish to us the birthplace of spirit, that is more. I had a story, and I traced that to Okozo in Anambra State. I was shown stuff that are over 3,000 years. Stuff that were over 3,000 years, and I was amazed. Things they happen for this world. Mine is to go see, carry camera, record, come show you. We must keep educating our mind, be it from the biblical side, from the cosmic side, also from the ancestral side, understanding the meaning and the deeper meaning of our being African, where in this world we still and we must consistently continue to demand to be governed better. I do not subscribe for one bit that we all keep quiet. When we die and go to heaven, then we'll get a gold-plated house and everything. No. You go start here, because why would I wait to live a better life until I go to heaven? Huh? If I never sit down for golden chair before in my life, when I reach heaven, na kitchen I begin go to look where I will go sit. Like one of the Kenyan comedians, a group of them sang that they have to finish all their beer drinking here on planet Earth, because when they go to heaven, there is no beer parlor in heaven. On that note, on the lighter note, I say good night to you all. I am Mazes, okay? Please like, share, and subscribe. I love you all. Peace out.